Andreas Schreiner from the Pub Belly Boys, the Pub Belly Restaurant Group, however you name them or however you want to call them, they are probably the fastest growing restaurant empire, I feel like in the country, but I'm not really in the know, but definitely in Miami. So we're really honored that Andreas decided to do this, to wake up this early, to come over here rather than check on his restaurants and talk to us about inking the deal. So at this moment, I'd just like to hand it over to Andreas.
Thank you, thank you. Wow, that's a pretty rad intro. Guys, I'm really honored to be here. It's pretty cool. I've done a lot of lectures this month by coincidence at Johnson & Wales and at FIU, but this is the first time I get to talk to a lot of peers and people from the community. And I think it's pretty incredible. You know, 5 years ago, our lives changed completely when we took a huge risk, my partners and I, and decided to follow our dream and invest everything we had into a little gastropub. Yeah. I grew a little bit last night. And we had, no idea that it was going to whirlwind into, what it is now over the last 5 years. So it's a little bit surreal. Sometimes I don't even, believe it's happening. And I've had to change the way that I, look at business and view ourselves and even, react to a lot of situations because of how the company's been growing and changing. But at the end of the day, it's just, three guys that are living their dream and, working their butt off to create an experience for everybody that comes into our spaces, whether it's to one of our restaurants or whether, it's to all of them or all the new ventures that are coming up. I never really thought I would be an entrepreneur. To me, my heart has always been in food and beverage and, providing, amazing quality products, and service to people through what we like to do, through food and booze and smiles and, cool little ambiance. And that's how we kind of grew up in the business. And then because of the great support that we received from Miami, from the community, from the locals, which is why we built the restaurants. We built it for the local community. It helped us to start expanding and growing into different ventures that now span international properties that we're building in Mexico and the Caribbean, hotel deals where we manage, a bigger gamut of food and beverage operations that are not just restaurants, and also now we've partnered with a cruise line to develop the first restaurant from our group inside of a ship in what's going to be branded the Miami ship by Norwegian Cruise Line that's getting built right now in Germany. So that's pretty cool, to think that, three little guys who have a little restaurant in Sunset Harbor now are going to have a restaurant aboard a massive cruise ship. But we really wanted to make sure that we didn't lose our identity, when doing these projects. So, the restaurant, for example, on the ship is called the Food Republic, and it's basically the best dishes from all of our restaurants put together in this really cool space that they're designing that's kind of floating off of the ship, and all the different open kitchens are there, and everything is based out of iPad ordering systems, so you get to order the small plates and they pop up on your screen and then they come over. So, really crazy logistics. So over the years, it's been pretty funny how things have changed and how I view, the restaurant and business world. I come from a restaurant family where my mother and my father, worked in a hotel, and that's where I grew up in. And I peeled carrots and potatoes since I was a kid before I could go out to play with my friends. And I saw my father kill himself behind the line, day in and day out. And before, the only thing that really mattered in restaurants was, what the ambiance felt like, what the food tasted, and and how expensive your china was or your silverware and all that stuff. And I kind of, grew up in that world and in the hotels. And then, when we built our company, we said we really don't want to, focus on any of that. We don't want to buy expensive china or glassware. We just want to give people, amazing quality products and value for their money, and do it in a cool environment, so people can keep coming back. And then what happened was, we fell into this, we are in this era where now that's not just, it's not just that's important now. Now, there's this whole other technology facet that's part of what we do every day that we really had no idea about, and that plays a huge role in our business and in everybody's business, I think, nowadays. You know, the whole social media aspect is kind of, blowing our mind. So in the beginning, we had no idea what we were doing and how, how that would affect us, and we did a little bit of Facebook and Twitter, and that kind of snowballed into, now having a small portion in this media company that does all of our photography and videography and all these other cool things that, I had no idea about, and I'm kind of learning, but the creative side of it is pretty cool. And it's very humbling and at the same time very scary to think that your company and the growth of your firm is really dependent on what everybody perceives you at outside of your restaurants, because you already have a preconceived notion of what you're going to get before you even walk in the door to any of our spaces because of what you see online, because of what people post, and that's really scary sometimes, and as an entrepreneur, when you're building new things and you're putting your heart and soul into it, and you're trying to use these great, technology tools to push your business further. At the same time, you always have to be wary of what's going to happen. Is somebody going to negatively Yelp you? Is TripAdvisor going to push you down? And it's a little bit scary, but at the same time, it's so much fun, and my neck hurts sometimes because I'm constantly on my phone now between texting and emails and doing social media. So it's something that's really kind of evolved with us as the restaurant's been growing. And now, after 7 concepts later, 5 years, and then all this new stuff happening in 2015, we really just try to stay as humble as possible with everything that we're doing, and remember that at the end of the day, we just like to cook and do fun things. And my job has changed and evolved a lot, and I have amazing partners, and thanks to them, I'm able to continue growing as a human being and as a professional. I try to guide myself every day by 3 important principles that I've kind of learned over the years, and those are like my building blocks of business, and that's what I use when I negotiate any deal, whether it's a deal to run a new hotel or something international or whatever, however big or small it is. I guide myself by these same 3 principles, and I think they've worked out so far. The first one is always be the boss that I always wanted to be that I never had. Treat people with respect and pay them well and love them and nurture them, and whether it's an employee or a guest or whatever it is. So be that boss that I never had. The second principle is that I kind of stole from one of my previous employers, Four Seasons, but don't tell Isidore Sharp, please. Is the golden rule, basically, do unto others as you want done unto you. And I think that's incredibly important because I guide myself in my personal life that way as well. And if you do good, you're going to get good back. A lot of people try to cut too many corners in life and in business, and I've unfortunately been witness to a lot of that in other companies that I've worked for, and it breaks my heart because it's just not. You don't grow a company based on building blocks that are not solid, because at some point they're gonna shatter. And the third principle is basically be ethical in everything that you do and run an ethical company. I've had opportunities to perhaps be unethical in different practices, and unfortunately, or fortunately I should say, we've had the forthright to not partake in any of those things. We make a lot less money than a lot of other people do, but I sleep well at night, and I don't fuck anybody over in life, because you never know when it's going to come back to you, and pardon me for the F-bomb, but it's really, really important, and we really believe in that. Ethics is super important in what we do. If you say you're going to do something, make sure you do it. You're true to your word. So, based on those principles and what we've been able to accomplish, some pretty cool stuff in this business, and I look forward to everything that's happening in the next couple of years. We're building something new here in downtown with our new version of our new restaurant, PB Station. That's going to be a really cool craft American eatery. We leased a rooftop off this amazing new boutique hotel that used to be the Miami National Bank, and we're going to do our first bar, which is a craft mixology bar. It's going to be really cool. And we're starting to cross the bridge more. We want to do the taco joint that we had before inside PB Steak inside of here, and really start moving a little bit of the operation over to the mainland, just because we realize that there's so much opportunity over here, and it's so cool what's happening on this side, that we really want to be a part of that. Aside from that, it's going to be a really interesting year, so we hopefully have Mexico open at some point in June or July, which will be in Mexico City, and it'll be a really cool version of Pub Belly Sushi that Took a while to get and to broker, but we have some really cool partners over there that have a really good infrastructure. And when they approached us, it was pretty funny because I thought the guy was asking me out. It's like, you want to go to Mexico? I'm like, oh. I know you're kind of good looking, but I don't play that game. It's like, no way, restaurants. I'm like, okay. So, anyways, that kind of snowballed into a really cool relationship, and we're planning a few more other things that are coming down the line. And how much time do I have? Oh, am I past my time? No, I'm good. The whole idea of what we're trying to achieve and our long-term goal has changed so much over the last couple of years. You know, first with the first restaurant, we thought, you know, maybe 5 years down the line we'll have enough money to be able to develop another concept. You know, now, and by the way, nobody believed in us in the beginning. Nobody lent us any money. You know, I was giving away 30% of the company for 50 grand, you know, 5 years ago. And nobody wanted to do it. And I had a pretty solid business plan too. Thank God nobody did it. My dad was the only one who believed in us, and you know, he opened up his checkbook and made it happen. And now we're looking at to see, you know, what's next. What's next for the Pub Belly Group and for us as human beings and as entrepreneurs. You know, how can we push the bar and keep on doing some fun things? So there's actually a couple of cool projects that are going to be happening in 2016 that we're hopefully trying to broker now, that are going to be hybrids of what we're doing, and I can't divulge too much information, but they're definitely going to be something fun and different. So hopefully if I get invited to talk again in the next couple of months, you know, I'll be able to share some more information. But otherwise, you know, it's just been a pretty awesome ride over the last 5 years, and stay tuned to all the fun things that are happening, and anything that I can do for the community or to help out, you know, I'm more than willing to do so in any capacity that I can. And you know, follow us on our social media platforms and let us know how we're doing. And if you have any questions or comments, so that way you can, you know, understand what's happening, you know, with the group. Other than that, I'll open the floor to you guys for any questions that you might have about the company or what we're doing or how we do things or why we do things. Nothing personal though, but I'm just kidding.